So there was a lot of debating in the U.S. Congress on why do we have to keep importing some of this Russian hemp? Why can't we just use good American hemp? And the answer came back from such people as, let's say, the Secretary of the Navy, that the Russian hemp was far superior to anything grown in America, not to mention cheaper. So cheaper and better is hard to argue with. The only trouble is the supply wasn't always there. So there was a lot of campaigning to grow American hemp because if you remember, I said what it took to outfit one man of war. Now that's a big sailing ship. 560 acres of hemp, and that's rope and sail, and that only lasts, let's say, 10 years. So there was a lot of hemp required to keep just the Navy afloat, let alone everybody's use of rope and whatever else you might use it for, like canvas. So there were a lot of campaigning. So somebody got the idea. I said, okay, let's take the USS Constitution and outfit one side of it with Russian hemp and the other side with Kentucky hemp. So, you know, with duly tested for strength in the beginning and monitored. And just like most of the experts said, the Kentucky hemp, you know, it had some strength in the beginning, but it was discolored, and within a year it had turned to useless. And that was the first test, or the most famous test, and there were other tests over time because, you know, they tried to get people to grow good hemp to match the quality of the Russian hemp. And time after time, the same thing would come up, and Kentucky grew more hemp than any other state. So everybody wanted to turn to Kentucky to grow the best hemp because people assume it was climate. But in reality, when you look at why they grew Kentucky hemp, it was mostly for crude rope and to wrap cotton bales to go down the Mississippi. So most of the Kentucky hemp was grown to last long enough to get that cotton bale out to market. It wasn't grown for ocean use, you know, maritime use, or any long-term serious, where your life depended on it, use. Of course, you can always make it really thick and make it work, but in other words, American hemp, by and large, could not even come close to the run-of-the-mill Russian hemp, which is really cheap, and you could get it most of the time, hopefully. But that's a long way over there, and that's dependent on a foreign resource, so understandably, they wanted to get us growing our own hemp. Now in this book, it's called The Reign of Law, Reign, R-E-I-G-N, A Tale of the Kentucky Hemp Fields. It's basically a romance novel, but the romance is in that Kentucky was proud of their hemp. It's kind of a sad story in that light because there's lots of pictures of hemp fields in here. And in here they refer to those testing of the Kentucky hemp versus the Russian hemp. And their version of it was the Kentucky hemp performed admirably. So that's their side. And that's supposed to be funny because you know how local news compared to reality sometimes. Now in this book, it's a picture of the Italian hemp working. Now the Italians are famous, this is written in the 1950s, for growing hemp often mistaken for linen. When I've looked up textbooks on natural fiber, and they do mention Italian hemp, they always say Italian hemp is so fine, it's often mistaken for linen. And the picture of interest in here shows a guy, if you remember, I had talked about when you're retting or rotting the hemp fiber, it has to get to a very high point of fermentation. And the worst part of that is smell. Most people would gag tremendously to get even close to the smell. The only way I've experienced is in a bathtub and getting in about elbow deep. But man, is it stinky and it sticks on you. And the picture in that book that I would like to share with people is the guy that's got to go into the pond and get all the hemp fiber out to hand it up on the shore. That would not be a very nice job.